Hi everybody, hope you're all doing well. We're back here on Wagon 84. We're going to carry on now doing some more scenic work on this side of the Pettigo layout. So this week I'm going to show you how I make seafoam trees, some grass tufts, and then add flowers to them. We're also going to be using some of the woodland scenic bushes to put bushes around on the layout. And I'm also going to be adding some line side fencing. So let's get stuck in and get started on this. So first off, I'll show you how I make seafoam trees. If you don't know what seafoam is, it's a plant. You buy it in boxes like this, all dried. I got this one from World War Scenics. And if you pull them out of the boxes, you can see they almost look like trees already. What we can do is just pull a few bits off. We'll keep these little bits because they'll come in handy later for making small bushes. Any of the seed pods that are on there, just pull them off. And I've got a piece of Celotex here that I use to stand them up in. Now to coat them, to give them their green, I've got some of the blended turf that we used as scatter. And I've also from Gauge Master, I've got some of these which give a leaf effect. Now initially, to stick them on, I will spray it with hairspray, coat it, hairspray, coat it, and when I'm happy with the finished product, then I'll use some layering spray to seal it, or you can just use scenic cement. So I'm going to get a few of these ready, and we'll put them in there and then we can start making them. So I've got 3 here I've selected. Now what I'm going to do with these 3 is I'm going to use some brown enamel paint to spray them over so it gives it more of a bark effect, and then some of them I'm not going to spray because I think they've got a natural colour as well, depending on the type of tree you're going for as to what colour the bark is. So it's just simply just give them an all over coat. This is where having a block like this is handy so you don't get paint all over yourself. Remember, this stuff needs to be used in a well ventilated or open area. So it is quite toxic. There we go, just let them dry for a minute. So while those are drying, we'll take one of the non-painted trees. So while those are drying, we'll take one of the ones that we're not painting. Now if you're not happy with the tree, if you find it's a bit bent or whatever, you can put these in hot water, hang them upside down with a weight from the end to straighten them out, and as they cool down they will stay straight. But I think trees come in all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a few that are a bit wonky, it just adds to the effect. So we're going to put our first layer of leaves on this. So we're going to take some of the hairspray. Right, make sure when you put the hairspray on, you're spraying away from the area that you're working in because you've got all your leaves and everything on there. You don't want glue to get into that. So give it a good coat. This is just cheap hairspray from Lidl, nothing special about it. Get the blended turf. It's always best to sort of hang it upside down and just shake it over. So you're shaking it over from all angles. Give it a tap, take something loose off. And you can see that already looks like a tree. So give it another spray, hairspray. Let's sort of fix that layer on. And then we can go over it with some of the leaves, because this just gives it a different colour. Because, you know, if you look at trees, the leaves aren't all the same colour. Depends if the wind's blowing, if they're upturned, sleeves are different colours, depending on which side of the leaf you're looking at. Shake off the excess. And there we've got a nice looking tree. And we can go over it. When you're happy with it, go over it with the layering spray. That's it all sealed in. And one tree. Ready to go on the laird. If you want to add a bit of colour to it to represent berries or flowers, take some of the Woodland Scenic Scatter for flowers. I'm going to use red here, so this can represent berries. And just sprinkle a bit over like so. And then again, just fix that in place. Make sure you do it from a distance, because if you're too up close, you'll blast everything off again. And there you've got a tree with some berries on it. You can buy trees pre-made, like these ones here. They can all look a bit uniform and all the same colour. So you can apply these techniques to these just to jazz them up a bit more, give them a bit more realism. So again, we'll spray it with some hairspray. Put some of the mixed turf over it. Shake off the excess. More at the top. You can see there, it's looking better already because you've got a variation in the colour now. Give it another spray. And we'll use some of the knock leaves by Gauge Master. Just a few on there just to give a little bit of variation again. There we are, you can see that looks a lot better. And we can stick that in there for now. I'll get some of the red. Don't have enough hands, so I'll put that down there. Shake a bit on. And we'll fix it all on with the layering spray. So you can use the scenic cement. I use the layering spray because it's a lot quicker. Scenic cement you need to leave for a few hours to dry and set. And remember, this stuff sets clear so you won't see it. But there's the finished article. And if you compare that with one that hasn't been treated, you can see there's quite a difference there. So I'm going to carry on, make a few more trees. When I have them done, we'll come back and take a look at them. There's a selection of trees I've made now to go on the laird. You can see they're all different shapes, sizes, colours. So now we'll have a look at making grass tufts and flowers. Right, let's show you how to make grass tufts. So here we have a piece of parchment paper, an old metal baking tray. On here I've put some PVA glue, used a paintbrush to put blobs all around. You can make the blobs bigger or smaller depending on the size of tufts you want. I've got my static grass applicator. I'm going to attach the grounding clip to the tray. Now if you remember, if you've seen my video on static grassing, how static grass depends on the ambient conditions and whether you need the grounding clip or not. So we'll do a little test area first to see how it works. In here I'm using 4mm spring. It's on, so we'll just give it a go. grass there now. So what we'll do is we'll just tilt it to the side. This gets off the excess grass. And there you can see the tufts. So we can leave them to dry, and once they're dry we can peel them off. So what I'm going to do now is put this excess grass back into the applicator and just go over these bits that haven't been covered. So there's the grass tufts completed. So we'll leave that to one side, let it dry, and then we'll come back and look at them later. So here's some of the tufts here, and to show you how they work, you can just simply grab one, gently peel it off, and you have your tuft of grass, and you can stick that wherever you want on your layout. Now, if we want to add flowers to these, the best way is just take a strip, cut it, and then decide what colour flowers you want. We'll go for some red, so we'll put some of that down here. It's a little pile of it. So again, this is the Woodland Scenic Scatter. I've got some other scatters here I'm going to do different colours. And we want a little bit of PVA glue. So we take some of the glue and we just brush it on the top of the tufts. Then we simply take that into the pile upside down, press it in, shake off the excess, and there we have our flowers. So I'm going to continue on, do that with some different colours, and come back and show you the results. There you go. We see we've created some flowers now. We've got some yellows, purples, reds, whites, pinks, oranges in there. Add a splash of colour to the layout. Using a piece of paper towel like this to put the scatter on means you can pour it back into the bottle and you haven't used. So now we've done these tufts and the trees. It's time to go on to the layout now and start putting things in place. So let's get started on adding this extra bit of scenery now. So here I've got some of the Woodland Scenic bushes, a light green and a darker green. I've got some PVA just on an old lid here. I'm going to use a paintbrush for applying the glue. The first bit I'm going to do is, this is the original Pettigo layout, and this is where it goes on to the bit that I've built. And just to blend in these bits here, I'm going to put some bushes around here. You can see I've already stuck this down with a hot glue gun. So now I'm just going to apply some glue. You can be as messy with this as you want because it's PVA, it will dry clear. Put that all around. And then it's just take some of the bushes, push it on. And you want to use the different colours to blend it in together. And you can see how that's hiding the join there. I'll put a bit more glue on this side. Be as liberal with the glue as you need to be. Now you can see now you've got some bushes around there just to hide that join. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of the colour scatter and just put it over the top, give the appearance of berries and flowers. I put some of the yellow and red on there just to bring the bushes alive a bit. And then to help everything fix in place, I got some scenic cement. And we just spray that on. Give it a liberal dousing of it. Leave that to dry, that'll dry clear. And then everything will be set in place then. So, on with looking at the trees now. There you can see, I've ran the trees down the edge. just to help to blend the edges in. I put some of the more deciduous looking trees around there, and I've put down some spray on here, and I put some blended turf over there as well, just to help blend it all in together. So I'll let that dry, see how it looks when it's all dried, and then I can add a few more bushes or tufts of grass or anything that's needed afterwards, just to help blend it all into place. So you can see I've used the bushes and clump foliage, a little bit of colour on them as well. Used one of the trees, put it on its side to give some coverage. A tree there in front of the tunnel portal, again clump foliage and bushes around just to blend it all in. And then I've done odd bits of clump foliage about the place just to give the image of bushes. And you can see I've put a couple of trees there. It's always best to group the trees together. And then you can see back here where we first started with the trees and clump foliage all blended into the side. So now we can take some of these grass tufts and dot them around the place just to give an impression of flowers. So when I'm working on scenery, I always like to start at the back and work my way forward, so you're not leaning over stuff you've already done. You can see I've got the track taped over from doing the static grass just to protect it and stop anything sticking to that. So I'm going to take some of these. Now to use these, you can simply just peel it off. A little dab of glue, just PVA glue on the back. And then we can just stick it wherever we want. Stick that one just there. So I'll just do that now with a few more of the different tufts of different colours, put them all over the place. Sometimes when you're doing scenery, less is more. This is quite a big area here I've got to put scenics on. So once I've done this, I can go back and put more on if I want. So I start off with this and then let it dry, come back and look at it with fresh eyes another day and just see, right, could I add a few more trees over here or a few more bushes? So I'm just going to carry on adding some of these grass tufts and flower tufts, and we'll see how it looks, and then we'll come back and we'll put the fencing along the line side. So as you can see, I've added the flower tufts around just to give a bit of colour to it. Now at the moment it doesn't look right to me. I don't know whether I've done too many colours, but I'm going to leave it as it is for now. As I say, you come back another day with fresh eyes and have a look at it. I think maybe I might have been better just sticking to two colours, maybe just the red and yellows. But as I say, I'll come back and look at it another day with fresh eyes and just see how it looks. So now we're going to put in the fencing I've made. If you want to know how to make this fencing, look back, I think it's videos 17, 18 and 19 where I look at different types of fencing and how I make it. Let's get on with installing the fences. I said if you want to see how I make the fences, look back at my videos. I think it's 17, 18, 19 I show you how to make various fences. So with these, I've made them in my jig. So they are scale distance of 8 foot apart by 5 foot high. So I know how far to put them in. Obviously I put them in onto the painted area, because the painted area is 5 foot. So to do it, what I do is I get my scale ruler. I put the first hole in where I'm starting the fence, then I use it to measure 8 foot and drill 8 foot holes all the way along, and then just plonk the matchsticks in and go along. And I can use a little bit of PVA glue on there just to secure them in place. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll come back and show you the finished fence. So here it is finished. If a model railway can ever be finished. I've added some extra trees, I've put the fences in, some houses, got some horses, and we've got some sheep up here on the hill, and it just helps complete the scene. And now we have the train coming through. I think it doesn't actually look too bad. I know earlier in the video I was concerned about there being too many colours, but now I've added extra trees and bushes and the animals. It all seems to blend in and doesn't look too bad. You can always come back at a later date and add a few more bushes and trees, or take some of the flowers away if I think it doesn't look right. So let me know what you think. So as I said, give me a comment or a thumbs up, let me know what you think of this. What could I do to improve it? There's the train going through now, off into the tunnel. So don't forget to check out my channel members. Their links are all down below. They give great support to the channel here and the work I do. And if you want to become a channel member or on Patreon, links are down below. So as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.